Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. As ever, you can find me over on Instagram at the House of Langford and at Overall Sews. I'm also on Ravelry at Mad X Stitcher. It's January 2nd, which means it's time for another monthly roundup. So here is what I got up to in December. Now, I was in isolation for the first week of December. My son tested positive in November, so that was fun and didn't really get much done. I did attend Vlogmas last year, for the first time, which was really interesting to do. And rather than do it every single day, because I did end up going back to work, I decided to do it every 5 days. And even then couldn't really keep up with editing and uploading, but it is all up. And I finished the blanket that goes with the cowl that I started. So if you've seen those, you'll already know what's coming in this one. In the meantime, I have only finished a few projects this month, probably because it's been so whirlwind and just trying to get stuff done in general, really. And then the last 2 weeks, we've just sat and done pretty much nothing except eat. Lots of chocolate. So, let's get started, shall we? The first thing that I made this month was actually the second little monster. So I made a pink and purple one last month in November, and then at the very beginning of December I managed to finish off the blue and green one. So I don't have it with me because they were gifted for Christmas. The pattern was from Simply Crochet. Yep, Simply Crochet issue 75-76. If you've been here before, you will have already seen these. So I finished the second one of these little monsters, and they went down quite a treat. So I also included some, what did I include? Bag of sweets, and I made them each a drawstring bag as well in previous months. So you will have already seen those. So yes, that was my little stint into amigurumi for this year. I tend to do maybe one thing every year. I've done quite a few this year though. I've also made Brian the Penguin, didn't I, a few months back. So yeah, done a little bit of amigurumi this year. So that was made using the Scheepjes yarn. I think I've still got some left over. Yeah, so the second one was made using Scheepjes Calista in, I've got a blue and a green. 146 and 385. I've no idea what colours they actually relate to, but those are the two colours that I used for the second monster. So whilst I was at home in my isolation period with my son, I also managed to make up some masks for a karate friend and got those dropped off I think just before the last week of school, so around the 19th, somewhere around it. No, before then, can't remember. 12th. Anyway, dropped those off. They were Christmassy fabrics, so that her and her friend could wear them on the school run for the last week of school in the lead up to Christmas. So they went down nicely too. And I just used the standard face mask tutorial that I got from Claire at Beautiful Things. That was the standard one that I was using before I found the Sew Me Something one. So I made 4 of those, 2 in a Santa fabric and 2 in a Robin's fabric. In addition to some sewing pieces this month, I've also made a couple of jewellery pieces. I know, it's been quite a while since I've made anything jewellery related or metal related, or yeah, been a while since I got the tools out. So I made a pair of earrings. I'll pop a picture up because they were gifted. Lovely friend Jane commissioned them from me to match a pendant that she'd bought a couple of years before, perhaps, or I'd made a couple of years before. So I had to find some stones to match those. If I've got a picture of the original pendant, I will pop that up as well. In the meantime, whilst I had that box of bits and bobs out, I also found a half finished pendant, so I finished it off. It is this really beautiful rose quartz. It does have a very pale colour, a pale pink colour, but it's not showing up on my camera because I've got the lights on. The sun has gone in a little bit, but it was far too bright earlier to record. So rose quartz, I have done like a Viking weave around the outside. I'm not sure if that's going to show up for you. Nope. So Viking weave around the outside, and I've wire wrapped the bail. Now the stone was already wrapped around the edge, it just needed the bail, and I thought whilst I was here I would include a smaller piece of quartz just at the top there, which has got this nice reflective coating on it. I will pop a picture up because it's really not doing it justice on the camera, purely because it won't focus. It has got a pink colour, it just looks white in the camera. So I finished that off. It just needs a chain or a cord, and then that will be going up for sale as well at some point. Now there are just two things left that I made this month. One is a decoration. I also created a tutorial for this, so that should be up on the channel, or it's going up on the channel. It depends what order I decide to actually edit these in. So let's show you. I may have got it all tangled. No, it's all good. It's all good. I made some little bobble hats. I think they're rather cute. And actually they use just a cut up toilet roll, some yarn, and a little bit of stuffing. I think they're rather sweet. So I got my students to make these in the lead up to Christmas, just as something fun to do for those that were able to go into my sewing room, so that we didn't make a mess anywhere else. And a few of them made quite a few, so I thought I would give it a go myself, and I ended up making 3. So that will be up on the channel shortly too. They're very quick to make. I think it took me about half an hour to make one from start to finish, and it really doesn't use that much material either, which is great. So it's perfect for the kids to do. That just leaves one more project. Started on the 1st of December as part of the Advent CAL for Crochet Society, because I managed to get my hands on the Advent calendar. It uses 12 different colours of yarn and won't fit in the screen. Oh, there we go. It is more of a child size blanket, but it is super toasty, and I reckon if you doubled up the pattern, that would be a nice quilt or blanket for an adult as well. So it goes through all these different stitches. We've got Royal Ridge, Spike, one type of mosaic, then there's back loops, there's another type of mosaic, we've got cross stitching, more mosaic. This one I think is called floret stitch. It's quite a really nice texture. Bead stitch, puff stitch or bobble stitch. This one is the front post trebles, more mosaic, and then it just repeats a couple of them but in different colour orders. So it took me until Boxing Day to finish, but we then have this really cool border. Now what you do is you slip stitch all the way around, and then you work 2 halves of the border. So this is the back, so you can see we've got this lime green, the minty green, and then the yellow goes into the back. Then you do the front, then you join the 2 together, so you don't actually need to weave in any ends. They're all trapped in this double edged border, which is really neat. So this uses the Bella Coco crochet yarn, which is called Confection DK. It's got a nice weight to it as well. It's not quite a DK, it's a little bit chunkier than a DK, which is why it's nice and toasty. But I'm very pleased with this blanket. It's just a shame it's a bit bigger than my screen. So that is the Advent CAL, and it is designed by Rosina Plain, I'll find some links and I'll pop them down below for you. They are all over on the Vlogmas as well for it. So yeah. So if you've seen Vlogmas, you'll know that I did pop to my local yarn shop just a few days after my birthday. That was on the 10th. My birthday was the 10th, so I went at the weekend and picked up quite a lot of yarn. Yes, so I wanted to make a blanket, so all the details for that are over on Vlogmas. When I actually get started on it, I'll pop it over here as well for you. It's going to be a little bit of a big one. So I also picked up 2 balls of Glitz yarn by King Cole in the Christmas colourway. I gave one to a friend for Christmas, and the other one I started on Boxing Day to make myself a pair of Christmas socks. Yes, I know it's late because Christmas is now done and gone, but I'm almost finished. So they are living in my block print batik bag that I made a few months ago, and technically I should only be showing you one of these because I ripped back the first sock. Yes, I got to the point of the toe for the first sock and realised that I had less than 50 grams left of my yarn, which means I was not going to get a second sock from what was left. So I ripped it back a little bit so that I could start the second sock with what was left, and changed the length. So it's meant to be one length. I made it a little bit shorter so that I could try and get both out of the one ball. So I can show you the second sock, which is technically going to be the first one to be finished. Because the first sock that I had to rip back, I'll put a video up of me ripping it back. The first sock I ripped back and then restarted on the 1st of January, so it doesn't count. So this is the second sock, but the first altered sock. It is being looked after by my little gingerbread crochet, gingerbread stitch marker from the Crochet Society advent calendar. This is actually the wrong side of the yarn as well, so the wrong side of the pattern. So when it's finished, I will be turning it the right way out, which is why all my ends are on the outside at the moment. Now, I'm not overly impressed with this yarn. There's a couple of reasons. One is that when I started the first sock, I pulled from the centre of the ball. In doing so, I ended up finding 2 joins in the yarn. 2. Not that much, not that far apart from each other. So I then have 2 knots in my first sock. And this is what's left. I've managed to get both socks to the same stage where I just need to add the toes. I'm not sure I'm going to get it from that. We shall see. I'm going to go as far as I can. If I really can't get both out, then I'm going to have to add a contrast colour at the toe. Yes, so that is the crochet socks that I'm working on. It is a pattern by Nikki Perovic, over on Ravelry and Instagram. I think it's just her crochet basics crochet or simple crochet sock. Can't remember. I'll pop it down below. So yes, these are going to be my Christmas socks for 2021, and I think I'm actually going to plan, because this is the first crochet pair. I did start another one, if you'll remember from a previous podcast, that I started one from the Crochet Society box, which again I think is actually going to be too small, so I'm going to need to change up my tension on that one. I am using a 3mm hook for this one, and the plan is that I can then make it up in the West West Yorkshire Spinners yarn that I got in Fairy Lights last month, so November. But I also managed to get 2 balls of, I can't remember what it's called, hang on. Silent Night. So this should go in acquisitions, but I'm just rambling now. So I picked up 2 balls of Silent Night by West Yorkshire Spinners. I got these from Knitting Needle Lane in Cambridge. I got them from their online shop, and it comes with the Winwick sock pattern, Winwick mum sock pattern. So I'm going to have a go at knitting my first pair of socks this year, and I only need 1 ball for that. So that is the aim for this year. I have 1 knitting goal, and that is to make a pair of socks. Not sure how that's going to go, but we shall see. So I have, and it's so sparkly. So I have 2 of the, Silent Night. I also have 2 of the Fairy Lights, which you've already seen. And whilst I was on my hunt for a crochet sock pattern, someone reminded me that Vicky Brown has a book called Crochet Socks. So I got that too. So I actually ordered this back at the very beginning of December. It arrived just after Christmas, a few days ago. So I'm going to have a really good look through that and see what I want to do next in terms of crochet socks. So I don't want to be one of those people that just make knitted socks or crocheted socks, though. I do have grand plans this year. So yes, crochet socks, West Yorkshire Spinners yarn, and a brand new book from Vicky Brown. Now there's just 1 more whip. That's it for the year, or for this month. And I'm not going to show you the front of the bag because it's a little bit rude. But actually I can if I cover up this word. Can you see that? Let's try it this way. There you go. My favourite, I can't live without. So I've got I think that panda is from Sugar and Slough. A little panda badge. And this year I have put a sticker that I got from Sugar and Slough into my notebook, which I record stuff into for the year, which I'll go through in a little while, because I felt like I needed a positive image in the front of my book this year. It's just a very, very rough, but there we go. So my second whip, which I started in December because I ordered it in December, is meant to be a birthday present for my husband. Now his birthday is Christmas Day. So we both went to the Hokusai exhibition at the British Museum 2019. Might have even been before that. So I picked up a bookmark kit somewhere online, can't remember where, but it is an official one, by DMC, and it is a cross stitch kit. So this is as far as I got before the new year, and you'll notice it's not on bookmark fabric or bookmark strip. It comes with an Ada band to stitch on, but I really don't like them. I find them really like a really loose weave. I mean, look. So I am putting it onto, I think it's 18 count Ada, and I'm just going to cut it down afterwards and mount it like a bookmark properly using the rest of the materials. But I'm not keen on the Ada band, so I've left that to one side. I have got quite a far way down. I'm over halfway down it. So I just need to crack on with that really. And I am stitching it using 2 strands over 1. And the colours are all washing out because my light's on. But I'll put up some pictures of how it actually looks in terms of colour. Because it's a really nice blue. I'm hoping to get that finished this month for him, so I can give that to him. So that is my whips. 2 whips. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9 finishes for the month, which sounds really silly when I know I've finished a lot more in the past. Yes, so that is my finishes and my whips. Obviously I wanted to get a half finished object. I wanted to finish my sock, but I knew I was going to run out of yarn, so that will be finished this month too. Yeah, what else is there to talk about? So over on my Vlogmas, I showed you my Christmas Eve box, which was a grab bag from Made by Penguins, and I got 2 skeins of yarn with some stitch markers and a mini skein, as well as a pattern for an amigurumi snake. So I'm not going to go into much detail about that because it's already over on my Vlogmas. Head over there. I think it's part 5. So that was really nice to open up on Christmas Eve. I've not done that before, and I bought an extra one for my friend as well, so that we could both open something different on Christmas Eve, basically. I'm a nice friend. So what else did I do? That was my grab bag. I had an advent from Siobhan's Crafts, and all the yarn goes in here. Again, that is over on Vlogmas. So I opened one every day. There are 24 mini skeins, 10 grams of sock yarn, and they come, some of them come up with stitch markers. There's also quite a large stitch marker, which I think I'm going to wear as a pendant instead, which is a Tree of Life. And they're all based around gemstones. So I'm really looking forward to working up a pattern for this, because what I want to do with them, I can't find a pattern for. So I think I'm going to have to make my own. So you can come along on that journey with me this year as I enter the world of pattern designing. So that is going to be a crochet pattern, because that's what I'm better at. Okay, as well as getting the 2 advents over on Vlogmas, I also mentioned that I went to the yarn shop. I bought 10 Aran balls of lipstick red in the Stylecraft special Aran and 5 of the white to make up another Christmassy blanket. And whilst I was there, bought the 2 balls of King Cole Glitz, as well as a knitting bag. So again, that's all over on Vlogmas. That is pretty much it. I got two crafty related gifts for Christmas. One is this gorgeous panda pattern. It is knitted, so we shall see how that goes. By James C. Brett. This was part of my Secret Santa, which my sister arranged over on Facebook, which is quite nice to do this year. So I've got a panda to make up, which means I need some nice yarn. And I also got from my husband, let's pop the panda pattern away so I don't break it or rip it or bend it. There we go. I got a pack of HTV vinyl from my husband so that I can put some bits and pieces onto clothing. So this isn't going to look like much because it's just a packet of vinyl. See? But there's quite a lot in there. It doesn't even say on the packet, I don't think. No, heat transfer vinyl. That's it. Yeah, I've got lots of different colours to play with, lots of different textures. I think actually one of these is a vinyl. Don't know. Anyway, it's even got instructions with it. So I'm going to have a play with that, I think, this year. I'm not sure how much time I'm going to get to play with it. So we shall see. So that's going to be really fun to work on. So I also received a new friend. A friend of mine, I used to teach her at the bead shop that I used to work at. She moved to Wales, and at the very beginning of December she popped by and dropped off loads of gifts for people at BTHQ at the studio so that people could come and collect them. She has been busy beavering away throughout lockdown and has made loads of people these really, really sweet toys. And we all know what my favourite bear is. So I received a little panda. He is just so, so sweet. Thank you so, so much, Sam. I absolutely love him. I'm actually thinking I'm going to knit him or crochet him a little jumper so that he doesn't get too cold in the winter months. And perhaps maybe even a floral wreath for his head for the springtime. So he's going to get very well dressed. Thank you very, very much for my lovely gift. He is so, so sweet. What is next for me in general? January plans. I've set some big goals actually for 2021. To me they're big goals, but actually they're not. They're quite small. I set myself the challenge of, because we know how many whips I've got, I'm actually going to sit down and write a full list of whips in all crafts. I have set myself the challenge of finishing 5 whips that were previously started, whether it's from 2020 or years before, and I'm going to work on my temperature blanket because it's been 18 months since we got married. It should be finished. So I have 6 months left to do on that. I think the main worry with it is that it's heavy, it's hot, it's quite large, and I'm worried I'm going to run out of yarn again. But I still need to work on it because it needs doing. It can't sit in the basket forever, can it, really? So I need to work on that. I'm also looking to do a macrame wall hanging. I bought all the gear. I've got the idea, I just need to actually get on with it. It was one of my challenges for 2020, which I never really got around to doing. I think mainly because when we hit the first lockdown and I wasn't at work and I was remote teaching, I sat and found all my cross stitch projects, whips that needed doing. So I sat and did those because I needed something that would give me a quick finish. So that is what I did. And there's still plenty more where they come from. So I think 5 isn't overly ambitious. That's actually quite sensible. But 5 includes crochet projects as well. So we shall see. The last one I want to do is try the Hugs and Kisses blanket. I've now managed to get some yarn for it that I think is going to look really, really special with it. So that is now ready to go. So that's not January goals, that's 2021 goals. For January itself, do you remember the pandemonium blanket from July, August time? Yes, the ends still haven't been woven in. So I actually want to give it as a present to my cousin who's having a little girl in February. So I need to get all the ends woven in, don't I? So that is my first goal for January. Get the ends woven in on my pandemonium blanket. The second goal is obviously to finish off my King Cole Glitz socks, my Christmassy socks, because they are so close to finishing. I need to get those done. I need to finish off the cross stitch for my husband for his birthday. And actually I'm going to dip into my whips basket, or my whips trolley. If you've seen that Whip Wednesday, they're on a trolley. I have the Granny Rocks jumper by Iron Lamb, and I'm maybe 6 or 7 rows into it, into the granny striping. I've already done the rib for the front. I just need to keep going. So I want to work on that this month. Don't want to finish it. I think that would be pushing it. But I do want to work on it this month. So that is one of my tasks for January. And I think that's it. No, I've got a couple more things to talk about. I have some admin to talk about. As for admin, Ange finally received her giveaway prize from when I hit, what was it? Just 100 subscribers. That was what it was. Back in June or July. I finally sent over her giveaway prize, and inside there was the cushion that you can colour in and then rewash, which I believe is going to her niece. There was also a kit that I managed to pick up from Beautiful Things. So Claire put together a kit for me, which included some jersey fabric, some fold over elastic, so that Ange can whip up some amazing pants, because they are fab to do, and they use so little fabric as well. You can make loads of them. So yes, she's got that, and I included a sparkly notebook as well. There is a video, so hopefully that will have popped up over me to show you what was in the parcel that I sent her, and that was very much well received. So thank you, Ange, for joining in, and I hope you are enjoying working with your giveaway prize. So in October I had my 12th podcast, which meant I had been podcasting for a year, and I ran a giveaway. And since that giveaway, unfortunately, I've not had any contact from the winner. So it's been a good few months now. I think I'm going to redraw it, because actually it wasn't October, that was the end of September. So I am going to redraw it, but this time, because I've got the giveaway prize ready, I'm going to show you what's in it. So I have a me-made bag, project bag, with my design on the front of a yarn heart with a crochet hook. So this is a crochet project, and inside I have included a yarn cake with some really pretty pastel colours. So this is a perfect gift or prize for the spring. And I also have a crochet hook and matching stitch markers from Pedro's Plaques, the lovely Karen. So let's get that out to show you. So these are, if I can get them all to spin round, we've got a couple of yarn balls and a couple of flowers for stitch markers. And the crochet hook is my favourite size crochet hook, which is size 4 in blue with matching flowers and a giant yarn ball on it. There's a way for everybody. So that is the giveaway prize for my 1 year of podcasting. I think I might even throw in a crochet pattern as well, so that you can work up the yarn into something. Yeah, so what are we going to do? So I have been through my list of everything that I have made in 2020. I want you to tell me, what was your favourite? What is the favourite thing you've seen me make this year in 2020? And remind me which podcast month it was for. That way I know you've been watching. So head down to the comments and let me know, and I will pick a winner before the end of January, or on January's podcast, if I remember. And I'll see you all again very soon. I hope you're staying safe and well, and I'll see you again at the end of January. Bye.